Alex is with us in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Alex. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Good. Thanks for taking my call. We are a construction company, like you said, in Raleigh, North Carolina, with about 35 employees. We've been in business for over 25 years. Our work requires 4 to 5 different pieces of equipment for each of our construction teams on every job. The cost of each piece of equipment ranges from $70,000 to $700,000 brand new. My question for you, what I wanted to talk to you about was, what are the key things I should be thinking about to determine if I should keep repairing our old equipment or scrap it, sell it, and buy something new? We've got some equipment that's 10 plus to 20 years old, and the environment we work in, we do have to make repairs and maintain equipment. So, just trying to get some ideas on when should we stop putting maybe good money into something that's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's a financial analysis to do, and there's a couple things that enter into it. Number one, when you say $700,000 with the numbers you gave me, you're going to be repairing that. You're not going to be buying that. That's not in your budget. You don't make enough money to buy 5 of those.
Right.
That would be ridiculous. Okay, so we're not on that brand new scale. Now, if you told me you made $350 million and you wanted to spend $700,000, I mean, we can just go do that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's a ratio to your profits. If it's a small percentage of your company or of your profits of your company, your gross or your net, either one, your gross revs or your profits, then I've got a less tolerance factor for anything breaking, and I'm probably buying brand new and forget it. Like I run a $300 million company. We don't buy used computers. Okay, they're not that expensive as a ratio.
Right.
But if I were buying something that was $100 million, I might buy something used.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the ratio you're dealing with. So the thing one is how big a deal is this? And 700 out of, you said what, what did you say the total gross was? 35.
We actually have 35 employees. Our gross revenue's a little over $9 million a year.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. If you bought 2 $700,000 pieces of equipment, that chokes the whole place. You can't breathe. Right.
Right.
And in cash, and of course, I'm going to tell you never borrow money. So that's not an option. So this is a big enough purchase in ratio to your revenues that it's going to demand more used equipment and more repairs be tolerated. Now, then the other end of the equation is obviously the equipment has to be reliable. If you're down 50% of the time, you can't get your dadgum work done. Well, now it's the same as not having it.
That's right.
And so that's ridiculous. So you can't do that. So down on the other end of the equation is you've got to keep it operable. But what happens is, and there's a few people that are exceptions, but I'm not an exception, and and you might be, but I doubt you are. If I'm in that situation, I'm going to tend towards buying nicer stuff because I'm a boy and I like toys. Okay? My natural tendency is to buy the nicer thing, the newer thing, and not have to screw with it. Okay? That's my natural, and I think that's true of most of us. We're like, I would just rather have a better one, screw it, and that kind of thing. And I don't want the hassle either. And in other words, I'm emotional about it rather than mathematical. Now, and so if I know that about myself, then I have to force myself to doing an actual math analysis on this and saying, okay, here's the thing. Now, here's an example of that. All right. Let's say in a personal situation, you were driving a $2,000 car, a hoopty, right? And the truth is, versus buying a $10,000 car, that $8,000 more you would spend on that car, you would never spend that in 100 years on that $2,000 car in repairs. So you can never mathematically justify moving from a $2,000 car to an $8,000 car based on repairs. Because you can rebuild that car 6 times for $5,000 and still not have spent the $8,000 to move up. You know what I'm saying? And so you can do that type of analysis here. And for instance, I've got a friend that has a heavy equipment operation, and they're running, like cat dozers and the off-road dump trucks, the massive stuff, right? It's a massive he's got a lot of money in equipment. But he runs old stuff because you can repair that cat stuff the rest of your life versus moving from for $25,000, it's worth $25,000 today to buy that older, antique almost dozer, but the stupid things will run 50 years if you keep them repaired. He cannot justify a $250,000 upgrade from a $50,000 dozer. He can't come out on it ever, and he can't justify it. He'll never make that in repairs in a million years. So the only reason he can make a jump up is just the equipment lays down and won't get back up.
Right. All right.
And but it's really not due to, I've spent so much on repairs, this car is killing me. No, it's not killing you $8,000 worth of two. And that's the ratio kind of thing you're looking at. So I don't know the equipment or the details, and you do on your stuff. But so I'm telling you, avoid, let's develop a couple principles out of my meandering yakking here. Principle number 1 is if it's a large portion of your overall gross revenues or net profits, which yours is, you cannot be flippant about it. You cannot just go, I'll buy new and screw it, because that'll sink you, okay? So that means I'm going to be working with used stuff. Now, the second rule is it's got to keep running. I got to keep it running or the jobs don't move. That's a problem, or I got to move up out of it, because that means the equipment has just become completely unreliable, and I'm going to have to move up some versus repairing it. The third thing is you probably can never justify the move up based on the cost of repairs versus the increased cost to move up in number of years. It's a luxury to move up. It's very seldom a mathematical necessity. And I think those 3 principles will walk you through it. And that'll take some of the, and I guess all the while we're remembering my little boy emotions of, I just want a better one, screw it. And I can't let that make my business decisions, because wise business people buy the cheapest thing that gets the job done. Gets the job done means it's reliable and it doesn't lay down all the time. I don't really care about the sex appeal of your bulldozer. Seriously. I just don't. That's dumb. But people do. They're like, I got me a new one. Oh my God, what are you, dumb? I mean, you just took all this money and no, don't do that. But man, I can do it. I can do it in a heartbeat. I have to watch around here. And I got guys on our team, the technical guys, they like toys too. And we have a phrase around here called MF, minimal functional. Yeah, that's what that stands for. Don't come in here with a freaking Bentley of radio equipment stuff, and it's a dadgum microphone. Talk into it, makes noise. That's what it has to do.